My name is Aisha Mobley, and I am the program manager. And I just joined Hartford Performs back in June. June 13th was my first day. So I'm very happy to be a part of the team and very happy to meet you all and work with you this coming school year. So what we're going to do is we're going to move right along into tonight's presentation, and we're going to start off with introductions of the Hartford Performs team. We are a small organization, yet mighty. So we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves in order of the slides, starting with our executive director.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ree Poirier-Campbell. I'm the executive director of Hartford Performs, and I've been here since 2014.
And I am Emily Wineski. I'm the programming director at Hartford Performs, and I have been in this role since 2017.
Aisha Mobley, program manager, here since June 13th.
I am Deb Kosis. I'm advancement director, and I've been here for about a year.
Awesome. And Colleen Estes, she's not with us tonight, but she is our finance manager. So we make up the Hartford Performs team. Small but mighty, as I already stated. And so now we'd like to hear from you in terms of introduction. So if you can, just tell us your name, your program or programs that you'll be facilitating this coming school year, and one truth and a lie. And as a team, we will try to guess what the lie is. So you can unmute yourself when you are ready, and we will all be taking part in this. So whoever would like to go first, feel free.
I'll go first. That's Shayla Mora.
Hi, Shayla Mora.
Welcome.
Hi, I am Shayla Mora. Wait, let me start my, can you see my video?
We cannot.
No.
My hair looks a little
There we
crazy,
go.
but I'm here.
We
There
see
you
you.
Hold on, can I? Hi.
Hello.
I'm Shayla Mora. I am a teaching artist. My program is kind of like an eclectic one. We're doing like a la carte kind of situation. So I do dancing, I do writing, I do performing, visual arts as well. So it's kind of like a mixed bag. So, and I service like all ages for the most part. So it's kind of like an eclectic thing all the way around. So two truths and a lie?
Just one and one.
Oh, one truth and one lie.
Yes.
Okay. I have 7 kids and I lived in Jamaica.
Ooh, are we going to guess which one we think is the lie?
You can. Yes.
7 sounds like a lot to me. I'm going to pinpoint that one as a lie.
I agree, Anna. I think you don't have 7 kids.
Yeah, I don't think you look old enough to have had time to have 7 kids. So that's what I'm going with too.
I do believe you have 7 spiritual kids or 7 love kids somewhere, but 7 biological kids? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not going with it either.
All right, you're right. I only have 2.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shayla Mora.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Who'd like to go next?
I can.
All righty.
I hope I'm unmuted. My name is Anna Sobel, and it's very funny introducing myself to this group because I also know Shayla and I also know Tom. I know you all in various capacities. I am a puppeteer, but I also have been working as program manager with Hartford Performs since February. So I know you all pretty well. And I am bringing 2 puppet shows to the roster this year. And one is an anti-bullying puppet show, which is about dinosaurs. And it's for pre-K to 2nd grade. And my other program's also for pre-K to 2nd grade, and it's about bugs and movement and music. And they both have a lot of music. Oh boy, one truth and one lie. We have played this game in this group, and I feel like you all know a lot about me, so it's kind of hard, but let's just say I once had 2 cats, and I lived in San Francisco for 5 years. You had a good guess, Shayla, because I talk all the time about how I don't have pets. Let's see if anyone else wants to weigh in.
I'm gonna go with the pets, Anna. No cats.
Same.
Well, it's true that I don't have pets now because my children are like my puppies. But when I lived in DC, my first job as a puppeteer, I had these 2 cats in my house for a while as a single lady. And I wish I lived in the Bay Area. They say everyone needs to spend 3 months there, but I never did live there. So no, you're all wrong.
Thank you, Anna. Who'd like to go next?
I'll go.
All right.
Okay. My name's Tom Knight. Can you see me? I can't see myself.
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name's Tom Knight. My programs are musical puppet shows for pre-K, K1, 2, and 3 grades. Let's see, The Truth and the Lies. So here we go, you decide. I will be going on vacation to Europe this summer, the end of the summer. And the other thing is, when I was in high school, I played alto saxophone.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess no vacation. You've just been like working so hard and you got the ball rolling. I bet you're so musical though. I bet you played alto sax.
I'm gonna say no vacation to Europe. Maybe a vacation, but not to Europe.
Yeah, that's good. I agree with that.
Agreed.
You are all wrong.
Oh,
Wow,
I'm
awesome.
going
No alto
to,
sax.
my girlfriend grew up in Holland, and in 2 weeks we're going to go to Holland, and yeah, so excited about that. And when I was in high school, I played trombone, not saxophone. So
Oh, should have asked Brian. I'm sure you
you're
would.
close. You're close. I tried to figure out. I tried to do a lie that could be true. Yeah. So anyway, well, that was fun. Who's next?
I'll go quick. So like I said, my name's Emily. I don't offer programs. I'm the program director. And let's see, I was part of a traveling theater company in New York City, and I am deathly afraid of the water.
I'm gonna guess you're not afraid of the water.
Nah, you just went on vacation on the Cape. You love the water.
I do. That was good. Thanks.
Okay, I'll go really quick. My name is Ree, and I'll go with a numbers thing. So I currently live with 4 cats. So take that, Anna. And my other is my husband and I have been married to each other 3 separate times.
I bet you have 4 cats.
yeah. 3 separate times sounds false.
That would be quite a story.
That's the lie.
Maybe married twice, but not 3 times.
Yeah.
That's unusual. I think that sounds like a lie to me.
Yeah.
You are all wrong.
What?
I've got 3 cats and we have been married 3 times, and I'll save that story for another time.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Right. Deb, would you like to go?
I don't know, I can't remember who was on, but I'm the advancement director, and One Truth and a Lie, Oh, good Lord. I was a swimmer in high school and I now skateboard around New Britain.
You do not skateboard around New Britain. Sorry.
I would love to see it if you did. I would
Yeah,
love
that
to
would
see
be
it.
correct.
But that's cool. I was a competitive swimmer in high school as well. We got to chat. Stroke.
All right, and I'll go very quickly. When I was in fourth grade, I was on the news for making a song for a teacher who would come into our classroom to help us with our math facts. And about 5 years ago, I daringly went skydiving with one of my best friends in the Bahamas.
You definitely win for the most interesting, implausible 2 stories. But I'm gonna go with no on the news. It was like a similar story, but you didn't quite make it to the big top.
I'm going to vote for the fact that you were on the news. That's true. That you were on the news in fourth grade. You had just have so many specific details. That sounds. It's either a very elaborate lie or it's true.
It is true. I was on the news as a youngster. I'll sing the song to you one day. And I am terrified of planes, so skydiving is not something that I would ever consider.
On that. Oops.
So thank you all so much. It's great to meet you all. So we're going to go ahead and continue on with our presentation. All right. I'm going to go ahead and quickly just go over tonight's agenda. So we just finished up with our welcome and introductions. Soon we're going to hear about an overview of Hartford Performs. We'll then segue into some things that you should expect during this upcoming school year. We'll also talk about some of the requirements, and we'll get into the database, a little bit of the database, and then we will end with any questions that you all have. All right, so I'll turn this portion of the presentation over to Ree.
Thanks, Aisha. And I'm so glad that you guys are all with us. It's really exciting to have new teaching artists work with us. So I want to go like really brief about who we are so you know who you're working with and give you just a really quick history of how we came to be and who we are now. So next slide, please. So there have always been teaching artists in the Hartford Public Schools, and kids have always gone out to do field trips to museums and to shows and that type of thing. The thing is, up until Hartford Performs, it just wasn't equitable. So if you were a really cool teacher, or if you had connections to teaching artists, or you might have a little pot of money, you might have a teaching artist come into your classroom and do some activities with your kids. If you didn't have the pot of money, kids wouldn't get that experience. And the other thing was sometimes what those programs were really connected to the curriculum and what the kids were learning, and sometimes they weren't, they were just fun. And while both of those things are okay, it came to be one point at which it wasn't okay. All right, so next slide. So in 2009, the superintendent of schools looked at the standardized test scores, which were abysmal. And he said, anybody who is in our classrooms who is not getting kids to learn, who is not getting test scores to go up, you're out. You get no more time, you get no more money, you get no more access. And the teachers and teaching artists who said, wait, we have some really good programs that work. We don't want to lose those things. So, and to his credit, the superintendent listened and he says, okay, well, prove it to me. Show me how these programs are helping kids learn. So they did that. So they created a state-of-the-arts task force in 2009, and they went and looked to see what was happening in the arts in the Hartford Public Schools. And then they took a broader view, what was happening nationwide, looking at some models. And they came up with a model that they says, okay, we should have one independent outside organization who should aggregate all the cultural resources in the area and focus them on the needs of Hartford kids in ways that help them learn. And that's who we are. That's who we came to be. That's what we were created to do. Okay, next slide, please. So I I won't read you our mission, but that's essentially what we do. I'll call out just two little parts of our mission. That we enrich the student experience. So we're all about the students all the time. Students are our, like, ground zero. Bottom line, we have to benefit the students, enriching their educational experience, and really importantly, improving outcomes across the curriculum. So we have to help kids learn. We want kids to be engaged. We want kids to have fun. We want kids to enjoy what they're doing, but kids have got to learn through our programs, or else we get no access to the schools, and it won't be valuable to the Hartford Public Schools. Okay, next slide, please. So we now are so we are only in the Hartford Public Schools. We're not in the charter schools, we're not in the correct schools, we're not in other school districts. We are only in Hartford Public Schools, and we are in all 30 of the pre-K to grade 8 schools in the district. Those schools enroll about 10,000 students in about 600 classrooms. So you have opportunities to go into any one of 600 classrooms, essentially. And on any given day, we do about 17 hours of programming every given school day. Like, there are a dozen programs happening on any school day that you look in the calendar. So there's lots going on, and that adds up to more than 3,000 program hours just for students every year. So it's a lot. Next slide, please. And in addition to our student programs, that's the most visible, that's the biggest part of what we do, is the student programs. But we also have kind of two other legs of the stool. We want it all working together. We do professional learning for our teaching artists, so that you know who these Hartford Public School kids are, what the school district cares about, what the academic standards are, how the schools operate, how you can make your program stronger, what the best practices are nationwide. And then we have professional learning for teachers. And that's so that they, independently of what you bring into the classroom, that they can use art strategies in their classroom to help kids learn English and math and social studies and PE, and so that they can have these art skills too, so that they can enrich their own classroom experiences. Next slide, please. Thanks, Aisha. So this is kind of how we're structured. So we are, like I said, an independent nonprofit organization. We have a governing board, a board of directors, we call it the governing board, who are volunteers, business people, and educators. We have, as Aisha said, a very small and mighty staff, 4 full-time people who you see here, and then one 10-hour-a-week person. So we are a tiny little staff. And then we have a cadre of all of you. So we have about 100 folks who work with us on an independent basis, independent teaching artists like all of you are, or arts organizations, large and small, everything from like the Bushnell to small dance companies of like 2 or 3 people. And then we cultural venues like the Mark Twain House and the Harriet Beecher Stowe House. They're all part of our teaching artist, art provider roster. Next slide, please. And so, as I said, we're an independent organization, so we have to raise money for what we do. The Hartford Public Schools used to fund us almost entirely. They almost funded everything we did. That was a long time ago. Now we have to raise significant funding to do what we do. So we get a big chunk of money from the schools. We get a big chunk of money from foundations. We get smaller chunks from corporations, government, and individuals. And they all fund us to further their own purposes. We always remind ourselves this is not our money, this is their money, and they want to accomplish certain things. And what they want to accomplish is helping kids learn and bringing arts into classrooms. Next one, please. So they want to know, when they give us their money, what are we doing and are we effective? So we always have to be looking at, what are students learning? How do we know that what we're doing is effective? How is our method different and better than other people's method? How is it worthy of funding? So you'll see us do a lot of evaluation. So after every single one of your programs, a teacher will get a survey to ask all these questions. Were you respectful in how you dealt with the students and how you dealt with them? Did you show up on time? Did you show up with all the stuff you said you were going to show up with? And then, really importantly, what did you help kids learn? Did you help them acquire vocabulary? Did you help kids work together? Did you help them be more creative? Did you support, were you confidence builders? So we ask all kinds of questions about how you as teaching artists help kids learn and develop. And then you might also see us come into classrooms and observe you to see like how it's going and how kids are responding to you, because we always want to know how our programs are being received by teachers and by students and what difference they're making to kids' education. That is my down and dirty, like really fast, here's who we are, here's what we do, and here's why we do it.
Thank you so much, Ree. And so what we wanted to do in order to keep our presentation fun and interactive, we built in a KAHOOT game at the end of each segment. And so basically what KAHOOT is, in short, is it's a game that lots of educators use to assess their students' knowledge or to see how much of a particular content area or a lesson that students have retained. And it's a lot of fun, and students really, really enjoy it. So we thought it would be a great idea to assess your knowledge and see how well you've been paying attention to the information that's been shared with you thus far. So if you can play either on your laptop or your cell phone, and I'm going to get the slide ready in just a second. But if you can just log on at www.kahoot.it. So kahoot.it, and I will prepare our slide.
I linked that in the chat, so you could just click on that to take you right to the website.
So it's asking for a game pin?
Yep, just hang on. Yep, 1 second.
Okay.
Yep, in just a moment. I just got to start the game on my end here. Okay, are you all able to see this screen?
Yes, you see Ree's review quiz.
Yes, thank you. Okay, just give it a second, and the pin will pop up in just a moment. All right, so you'll want to pop in that pin number, and once you do, it's going to ask you for a name. And once you register your name, you'll pop up on the screen. All right, all right. Perfect. All right, we'll go ahead and begin. All right, let's see how well you've all been paying attention. You'll be able to answer the question right on your cell phone. So true or false? Hartford Performs was created at the request of the Hartford Public Schools. True or false? So you'll use your phone to weigh in. All right, so looking at the leaderboard, Anna is in the lead so far. All right, here we go. True, false. Hartford Performs is a department of the Hartford Public Schools. False. That is correct. Leaderboard. All right. Deb slides into the lead. True, false. Hartford Performs is funded entirely by Hartford Public Schools. All right. False. And Tom slides into the #1 spot. All right, here we go. Final question. How many Hartford Public Schools receive Hartford Performs programming? $30 is correct. All right, Anna in 3rd place. Deb in 2nd place. Tom, all right.
Yes.
1st place.
Yes.
Nice job, Tom. Awesome job. All right, so you have 2 additional times to play and see if you can beat Tom. So we'll go back into the PowerPoint. Just give me a moment to cue it up and we'll be all set. Okay. All right. Emily, are you able to see the screen?
I do not.
You do not. Okay, give me 1 moment, please.
No worries.
Just turn this off and
Oh, thank you, Shayla Mora. Appreciate that. So I'm just going to dig a little bit deeper into what we presented. So in working, as Ree said, working solely with Hartford Public School District, that really allows us to build really strong relationships with principals, administrators, directors, educators, and students by aligning our goals with their goals. So I wanted to share with you, this is the district's major goals for the next couple of years through 2024. I think they're helpful to take a look at. And please note that the focus of the district is on the whole student. In doing that, the district wants to ensure that there is high quality teaching and learning happening, that there is a welcoming culture and nurturing climate in the schools and in the classrooms, that families and community partnerships are engaging with the schools, and that there is skilled staff and effective operations to help students reach the outcomes that are listed on the right side of the screen. So as community partners working in the school day, right, being invited into the classroom, it's important that we also exhibit these traits as arts partners. And so when we are bringing in our program, we have that review and application process to ensure that we have skilled teaching artists that have high quality teaching and arts experiences, and that you're all encouraging this welcoming culture and climate in your classrooms when you go into the classrooms and you're working with students. When I look at these goals, I do notice an absence of the arts. But as you know, and I feel like I'm preaching to the choir a little bit here, that while the arts are not explicitly stated, we know how important the arts are in helping reach these outcomes in math and literacy and improving attendance. And so we encourage our partnerships with our schools that teachers promote when Hartford Performs programs are happening to get students coming into schools and to help improve that attendance during the school day. Next slide, please. So I just want to give a quick overview of what the arts look like in Hartford School District. And to know that arts learning is taking place in the district. There are full-time certified music and visual art teachers at most schools. And there are also a handful of some certified dance teachers and theater teachers scattered throughout Hartford Public Schools. I was a theater teacher and I worked in Hartford Public Schools for 5 years. So I understand the plight of the certified arts teacher, but they are a strong but mighty group within Hartford Public School District. And so we wholly support certified teachers in Hartford schools. We also applaud the classroom teachers in Hartford because a lot of them also really support the arts coming into their classroom and even work really hard to integrate the arts into their classroom because they see the value of the arts in supporting student learning and student outcomes. Next slide, please. And so all of you, how do you play a role in this? So you and Hartford Performs role is to enhance and support student learning through the arts, that we're supporting those certified arts teachers, we're supporting those classroom teachers, and we're supporting student learning. So in addition to all of your beautiful faces and programs that are going to be joining our roster, like Ree said, we also partner with some area performance museum and art venue spaces around Greater Hartford area. So programming happens during the school day inside the classrooms, and students also take field trips outside of their classrooms. Next slide, please. And like we mentioned before, we offer student programming and we also offer adult programming. And all of this programming informs and relies on one another to be successful. I think of it as a beautiful ecosystem, all feeding and learning into one another. right? Teachers experience your student program, and then they participate in a professional learning workshop on how to extend that learning. And us as teaching artists learn best practices by coming together and learning from one another what we experience in the classroom. So it all works together. And I'd like to just drive home again that students are central to all of our programming, whether we're doing adult or student work. And I feel like it's really important and a part of my role to ensure that all of us, colleagues, teaching artists, partners, board members know who Hartford students are, because that's who we are working with. And when we're making decisions and we're thinking about solving issues or things that come up, it's important that on top of mind and what we always consider is what is best for our students. And maybe I might not be the one who always knows what is best. So this is an invitation in from all of you to please be our ears and our eyes, and to help us and hold us accountable so that we are working best for our students and who we work with. And that's it for me. I think we have one more KAHOOT quiz.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Emily. All right, here we go with our next KAHOOT quiz. If you can go onto www.kahoot.it. And I will go ahead and prepare our screen for the next KAHOOT. All right, here we go. Pen will be coming up in just a second. You can log in. All right, here we go. True, false. Hartford Public Schools has at least one certified arts teacher at each school. All right, correct answer is true. And Shayla Mora is at the top of the leaderboard. All right, here we go. Hartford Performs programs enhance and support student learning. This is true. All right, Shayla Mora, still at the top of the leaderboard. Come on, Tom. All right, final true, false. Final question, students are central to Hartford Performs programming and mission. So final question. True, that is correct. So in third place, we have Eve. Second place, we have Anna. And our winner for this round is Shayla Mora. Awesome. All right, thank you all so much for that one. We have one round left. So go ahead and stop sharing here. And just give me a moment while I stop that. All righty.
Can we do that one again? I think I could do better.
You'll have one more chance to redeem yourself, Tom.
All right. Feel like it was a big come down for me.
Oh,
I need some recovery time, but okay, I'll give it a try. All right.
That's all right. You got one more chance. So just give me a second here while I load this up here. And let's see. Okay, can everyone see my slide okay? Okay, head shaking, yes, awesome. All right, so
Yeah.
we're gonna move it, thank you. We'll move into the last part of tonight's presentation. And so we're gonna be talking about our program. So how our programs are selected. So the database, it's an online database, searchable by anyone. So you don't have to be a teaching artist, you don't have to work for Hartford Performs, anyone can access the database. I want you to keep in mind that the roster is your marketing tool. Hartford Performs, we're not booking agents. So it's up to you to be very intentional in terms of how you market your programs. You want to be very intentional in terms of pictures, program descriptions, in terms of really doing your due diligence in marketing your program. Hartford Public School teachers and principals are going to be searching the roster starting in September to make their program selections. And so Hartford Performs is not involved in the program selection process. This is the sole responsibility of the teachers at the schools. And the teachers have to have their program selected by the time Hartford Performs staff folks come in to do the booking. Teachers will select their programs for the entire grade level through the database. So in the fall, teachers will work collaboratively with one another to decide on which programming they would like for their grade level of students. And then the 4 middle schools will also do the same in terms of choosing their teaching artists to do the residency for their students. Each grade level is allotted $20 for programming. And so programs cost between $0, so it could be a free program, $5 and $10. So teachers in essence can choose multiple programs to exhaust that $20. So on average, we see teachers booking between 2 to 6 programs in a school year to exhaust that $20 allotment. So Hartford Performs staff will be at each of the 26 partner schools to schedule those bookings, confirm those bookings with the teachers. We'll also be going to the middle schools as well to meet with those teachers as well. So between September and mid-October, that's when that booking process is going to take place. And again, we will be visiting each of those schools, working with those teachers to get that process done. There is no guarantee that your program is going to be selected, which again, I want to reiterate, please be intentional about every detail of your profile and what you put on the roster, from again, the name of your program, pictures you decide to choose, program description, etc. Many of you have already done that, but if you're wanting to rethink a couple of things or add to it, now would be the time to do so. So please reach out to me so that I can help you with making any edits. All of your bookings should be wrapped up by mid-October. And so as those bookings are solidified, the teaching artists are going to receive an email confirming the booking. So you want to make sure that you are checking your emails and your spam folders regularly during that time period so that you do not miss a booking. This is a snapshot of what your booking confirmation email is going to look like. Both the teaching artist and the teacher receives a copy of the confirmation email. And so this email will contain relevant information pertaining to your booking. When you're scheduling dates and times with the lead teachers, there's some things that we are going to ask that you consider. So please consider giving the teachers at least 1 week to make initial contact with you. So after you receive your booking, please don't do anything just yet. Wait a week for the teacher to reach out to you first. Once they do reach out to you, we're asking that you please get back to them in a timely manner. Clear and concise emails and forms of communication is always best with the teachers. And if there's a teacher that is not responsive, we're asking that you please try multiple methods of contacting the teacher. So if they're not responding to your email, please call the school, leave a message for the teacher. You can also reach out to the school site coordinator, and you can certainly reach out to me as well to assist in getting you in contact with the teacher. But please exhaust multiple methods of contacting the teacher if they're not responsive. We're hoping not to run into any of that. So once your booking is scheduled, once the teachers have the bookings in, you're going to, when you receive your email, you will go into the database to confirm your scheduled date and time. And so this is a snapshot of what those database pages look like. And so up the top where it says the booking details, it just gives some specific information regarding the particular program, the grade level that you will be serving, the number of classrooms, the number of students, and additional information from there. And then down below is just a running roster of your particular bookings, along with the voucher information, the classrooms, the total dollar amount that you should be paid for that particular program. On the day of the program, some things to consider. So you want to make sure that you're confirming the school address and giving yourself plenty of time for travel and parking. You're wanting to make sure that you sign in at the front desk when you arrive at the school and make sure that you follow all of the visitor protocols. Please be sure to deliver the program to the full grade level. So expect to be there for quite some time. And so you're wanting to pack accordingly. So, packing something to eat, maybe packing some layers of clothes. Some schools can be really warm, some schools can be really cold. So just making sure you plan accordingly as you will be there for quite some time. And please make sure that you complete your payment voucher online in a timely fashion so that you can be paid in a timely fashion. How programs are paid, very important. And so an online voucher for each program is going to be generated on the date scheduled in the database. So you may have seen, it was in small print, but a couple slides back, that program was scheduled for March 24th. So on March 24th, an online payment voucher is going to be generated. An email is going to be sent to you, the ARS provider, to verify some specific information, such as the number of students that were in attendance, the date of the program, and some additional payment information. That information is then going to be sent to the school site coordinator, who's going to sign off on that information. So they're basically going to verify the information that you put down. So verifying, again, the number of students, the date of the program, et cetera. From there, a voucher or the voucher information is going to be submitted to Hartford Performs. We will review it, and then we will send it over to finance, who will cut a check for you. And so this is why I stress to make sure that you submit your checks in a time, or your voucher information in a timely fashion, because check runs happen twice a month. Okay, so make sure as soon as possible you're in the database filling out that information and submitting so that you can be paid in a timely fashion. And that brings us to our last Kahoot. Tom, get ready. So again, if you can all log on to www.kahoot.it and give me just a quick moment to set it up. All right, here we go. All right, let's rock and roll. How much money do schools get per grade level for programming? Answer is 4, $20. All right. Shayla Mora, you're on top. Question number 2. You will receive payment on the day you do your program. Oh, that was very, very fast. The answer is false. False is correct. All right, Tom, welcome back to the leaderboard. The top of the leaderboard. All right. When should you know all of your bookings by? When should you know all of your bookings by? All right, mid-October is correct. Let's see. Woo, Tom. All right, still on top. And this is the final. The teacher should be the one to initiate contact once your program is selected. The answer is true. The teacher should initiate first before you reach out. All right, let's see who's taking this one. 3rd place, Eve, awesome job. 2nd place, Anna, awesome job. And 1st place, Tom. All right, awesome job. Way to redeem yourself, Tom. All right, just give me a second.
I'd like to thank my coach and my trainer. And,
That's great, Tom.
okay.
All right, give me 1 second here. Okay. Okay, so we are pretty much coming to an end of our slideshow, but we just wanted to just remind you of some of the Hartford Performs safety protocols. So please, no photos of students' faces or names. They cannot be posted publicly without parent or guardian consent. So if you're wanting to showcase faces and names on your site, please make sure that you have parent or guardian consent. A teacher, substitute principal, or security officer from the school must be present in the room when you are leading your program. So if they leave the room, ask them to come back. If they just put you in a room with no one there, please request that a school staff person is in the room with you while you're leading the program. And lastly, if the safety of you or the students is in question, you have every right to stop the program. So please do not feel obligated to continue on if you do not feel safe in an environment, or if your students are unsafe in the environment, please do not feel obligated to continue on with the program. Just a reminder regarding some quarterly meetings for arts providers. So they will be happening throughout the year. The school year orientation will be virtual and pre-recorded with a live Q&A sometime in October. We will have a quarterly meeting in January. We'll also have a meeting in April, and then a nice celebration in June. So I know those months are a long ways away from now, but we wanted to just give you some information on what's to come. We are now at the end of our presentation, and I'd like to open it up to any questions that any of you may have at this point in time.
I have a question. How are the dates determined? Do the teachers kind of pick a date? And I mean, yeah, I guess I'm confused about how the dates get figured out.
Go ahead, Emily.
Okay. I don't want to step on your toes, but yeah. So you'll figure out the date with the teacher when they reach out to you. We're hoping that they're lining your program up to something in their curriculum that lines up. So they're, being mindful about their units and curriculum. But certainly if you have specific timeframes or dates that work, and initiating that and giving teachers suggestions, that's always helpful too. Teachers are very busy. So if you say, hey, I can come next Thursday, and they might say, great.
Oh, okay. So when the initial contact is like, we want to hire you sometime this year or something, and then there's a a dialogue trying to figure out the date.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Mhm. Good question.
Yes. We have any other questions, concerns? All right.
Well, I guess I have a question. So there's $20 is the budget for the grade. So yeah, so I guess I want to make sure I'm not kind of like pricing myself. I put $10 as my rate, so I just kind of want to make sure I'm not pricing myself, out of the range, out of too high, basically, compared to other presenters. Did you have a sense of that?
10 seems to be the average
Okay.
Yep.
across presenters on the roster. You're welcome to go. We're making the roster live as we speak. So you're welcome to go and check out, and you can sort by who else is offering stuff for pre-K and see what's out there. But you should be fine at $10. Yep.
Okay. Great. Thanks.
We did have one teaching artist a few years ago who she wanted lots and lots of bookings. So she priced herself at $5, which we thought was low, but it did get her lots and lots of bookings. And then she ultimately raised it. But teachers will look and say, this is a 30-minute program and they want to charge $10, it might not be worth that. So, teachers will look and they'll be savvy about what they pick. But $10 really is it's pretty much the standard.
Okay. Okay, good to know.
And certainly if you're traveling and bringing quite a lot with you, $10 is justified as well.
Great. I'm bringing a lot.
Yeah.
And traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions about like what the school year looks like? Or I guess give some clarity on that $20. That is to ensure an equitable disbursement of the funding, that every single student receives $20 worth of programming. And so we're that's our guarantee, that you serve an entire grade level, and every student in that grade level will receive $20 worth of programming within their school year, depending on what the teachers select for that grade level. So you'll have a lead teacher contact that you're going to be communicating with, but pay attention to that confirmation email. If it says, 68 students in 3 classrooms, when you go in and visit, you've determined whether your program is in individual classes or an assembly. So when you go in and visit, you're going to visit those 3 classrooms if your program is set up that way, or those 3 classrooms are going to come down to the auditorium to watch your performance at one time. But all that detail is in that confirmation email along with the quoted amount.
Great. So, so you say, well, we'll know kind of in mid-October what the year looks like. So that means nothing really gets booked in September, or does it sometimes get booked in September? I mean, I'm like booked for a performance in September.
You'll receive program confirmation emails of teacher selections from September through mid-October. Every day, we'll all be in a school every day. We got to visit. So 4 people have to visit 30 schools within that time frame. So you'll be receiving emails confirming if teachers are selecting your program. And if an early booking confirmation email turns into a scheduled date in September, that's happened. Where programs are happening in late September, early October already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight. I hope that you had a great time. Hope that you learned a lot and enjoyed tonight's presentation. We are always available to you. I will be your primary point of contact. So whether it be good or bad, email me, call me. I will contact you back as soon as I can. And welcome to Hartford Performs. We're so excited to have you as a part of our roster and our Hartford Performs family. And if there's nothing more, I wish you all a wonderful rest of the night.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it. Appreciate
Thank you.
appreciate your presentation. It was